I'm Brian Johnson, and I'm the Assistant Head and Director of Studies at Shadyside Academy Middle School. And if you're watching this video, it's because you have an interest in our languages that we offer at the middle school. In 6th grade, those of you that are watching this, you know that we offer 3 languages, and you've worked hard at those all year long. And now, if you're watching this video, it's because you're ready to make the choice for your 7th and 8th grade years. Well, we have some students and teachers that would like to share with you why you might consider their languages as your language choice to pursue over the next 2 years at the middle school. So I'm going to let most of them do the talking. This video that you're watching is mostly the teachers, the 3 of them, Mr. Jenkins, who teaches Latin, Senora Cespedes, who does our Spanish program, and Mrs. Fong, who does our Chinese program. There's a second video that has several students that share their experiences, and I really encourage you to watch that video as well to get a sense of what their experience was, why they picked the language, and why you might want to join them in the pursuit of the language that they picked. So sit back, enjoy, take a couple minutes to watch these. If you have questions, please reach out either to the teachers or myself, but get ready because this is one of the choices you get to make in developing your education a little bit further at the middle school.
Hi, I'm Mr. Jenkins, and I want to talk to you a little bit about your language selection. So you have the luxury of choosing between an Asian spoken language, a European spoken language, and a European ancient language. And Latin is the latter, and that's the one I teach. Sometimes Latin is called a dead language, which means we only know it through the writings of people who lived a long time ago. We have tremendous works of literature, drama, philosophy, political speech preserved, and through it we know the Latin language and the people who lived 2,000 years ago, the Romans. Now, Latin itself may be dead, but it continues to exert a huge influence on the languages of the world, particularly those from Europe. So French, Spanish, Romanian, Portuguese, and of course Italian are directly descended from Latin and take the bulk of their vocabulary and grammar from it. But English, which is not descended directly from Latin, still is about half Latin in terms of its vocabulary. In addition to this influence on the actual languages people speak, the cultural ideas of the Romans are preserved in our own civilization. So you find a tremendous amount of ideas that originated in ancient Rome in our thinking about law, ethics, medicine, art, and many other subjects. Now, you will know from your study of Latin in 6th grade that it's a very logical and clear language. It has an almost mathematical elegance. When you understand the different grammatical features of a sentence, for instance, they kind of click into place. And you're not just right, you know you're right. You can prove it. And I think a lot of people find that reassuring. So, what's the end game of studying a dead language? Well, if you stick with it for a couple of years, you can get to the point where you're reading those authors I mentioned earlier. Caesar himself, Cicero, Virgil, Horace, many, many more, who gave us some of the greatest works of literature that the world has ever known, and that are well worth reading in the original language. So, if you're up for something that is both challenging and entirely achievable, and you're up for something fun and interesting and maybe a little bit different, then perhaps I'll see you in the fall.
Estudiantes de sexto grado, yo soy Senora Cespedes, and I teach 7th and 8th grade Spanish at the middle school. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how the Spanish program works and a little bit about Spanish, but not too much because I have 2 students who are doing most of the talking about what your experience will be in 7th and 8th grade. First, I want you to know that this is a really cool opportunity for you because it's the first time that you get to make a choice, an academic choice about what you're going to learn. So you get to choose whether you want to take Spanish, whether you want to take Chinese, whether you want to take Latin. And let me assure you that we and when I mean we, I mean all of the language teachers, we take the time to make sure that your experience is as similar and as parallel as possible. What that means is that we try to align all our projects, the amount of tests and quizzes that you have, the homework that you have, the field trips that you have, everything, we make it as equal as possible so that that is not something that you take into consideration when you are choosing your language. What we want you to think about when you're choosing the language is think about what is going to be best for you. Does your family go to China every year? If they do, maybe Chinese is the language for you. Does ancient history, is that something that interests you? Maybe Latin is the language for you. Do you travel to South America or to Mexico? Maybe Spanish is the language for you. So you have to really think about what is going to be best for you and what you enjoy, what you want to get out of it. Please don't make the choice depending on what your friend is picking, because you will be in this language for 2 years. That is a commitment. So you want to make sure that you're doing the best thing for yourself. I would suggest that you take time to think about it, take time to watch these videos, and to talk to your parents so that you make a good decision. And remember, there's no wrong decision. It's just the best decision for you. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time because I do want my 2 8th graders to explain their experience with the Spanish language at the middle school. However, if you do have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to email me and let me know. My email address is Cespedes, CESPEDES, @ShadySideAcademy.org. I look forward to seeing some of you next year. Adios.
Today, I would like to talk about your world language selection in 7th grade. Congratulations, all of you have experienced 3 languages, Latin, Spanish, and Chinese. Your teacher had tried their best to present to you what it's like to learn a world language in 7th grade. I hope you have learned a lot in terms of content and how to be a better student. I would like to encourage you to think about how will you use this experience and apply it to the future language you will choose. As for Chinese, if you like the culture and the language I present to you this school year, my class and the amount of work will be similar in 7th grade. I will do some review at the beginning of the school year and move forward to increase the base for us to start building your competence in Chinese. I'm not going to lie, Chinese is not easy. This truth applies to any language you will choose. Latin, Spanish, and Chinese are going to get harder and harder as your level increases. One thing I can promise is to make your learning fun for you. We will do many projects for you to practice this language. In 7th grade, we will do 2 in-class plays for you to act out traditional Chinese stories. We will make books, recite Tang poems, write Chinese calligraphy, and design a Chinese restaurant menu. In 8th grade, we will do many writing projects for you to apply this language. The highlight in 8th grade is the Chinese restaurant field trip, where we would only speak Chinese to the staff to order lunch and eat there, and to gather informations to complete a restaurant review in Chinese. I'm very proud of my Chinese students, and they surprise me every year by how much they can grow in the knowledge of this hard language. If you have a passion to learn Chinese and are up for the challenge, I look forward to teaching you next year. Please contact me if you have any questions. 再见.
Hi, me again. Thank you for taking some time and watching these 3 teachers share about their languages, and hopefully this gives you some information to help you make a choice. Keep in mind, you're making this choice to explore this language and delve into it over the next 2 years. At the end of those 2 years, you will have completed your first year of senior school language. That means as you leave the middle school and go to the senior school, you'll be entering the second year of that language. So I hope that you're ready to make that choice. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us who can help you with those questions about now or the future. Thanks again for watching.